Hey everyone, welcome back to Rachel Ann Quilts, where we bring your creative ideas to life, one stitch at a time. I'm Rachel Ann, and today we're moving on to part 5 of our T-Shirt and Memory Quilting series. In this video, we'll add borders to our quilt top, giving it a finished and polished look. Borders frame your quilt and can really enhance its overall appearance. You can use solid colors, patterns, or even additional t-shirt fabric for the borders. Let's dive into how to measure, cut, and sew them on. We'll start with the side borders and then move on to the top and bottom. There are two methods that work fairly well for attaching borders and keeping your quilt squared up. The first option is similar to how we added our long vertical sashing strips. Using your original drawing, you'll add up the block and sashing measurements for each side of the quilt to see how long your side border strips need to be. Remember to add 1/4 inch to each end, top and bottom, for the seam allowance. Write down the side measurements. The second option is to measure the quilt. Keep in mind that the edges of your quilt are most likely to stretch out of shape because they still have a raw edge that you've been grabbing, lifting, pulling, and handling your quilt top with. So you will want to take your measurements about 6 to 8 inches from the edge. This will allow you to get a nice accurate measurement on each side. Using a rotary cutter, ruler, and cutting mat, cut your side border strips to the measured lengths. If your quilt is larger than a baby quilt, you will probably have to sew several strips together, end to end, to get the desired length for your border strips. Double check your measurements to ensure accuracy before you cut your length, and then check again. With our side border strips cut, it's time to attach them to the quilt sides. For the first method, mark the block and sashing measurements on the wrong side of your border strips, like we did for the long vertical sashing strips. Align the side border strips with the edge of the quilt top, right sides together. Pin or clip the intersections and ease the fabric between the joints to keep everything aligned. For the second method, align the border strips with the edge of the quilt top, right sides together. Pin it in place starting from the center and working your way out. This helps distribute any excess fabric evenly. Now sew the side border strips to the quilt top using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Take your time and go slowly to ensure straight seams. Once both side borders are attached, press the seams towards the border. Next, we'll have the top and bottom borders. To get the correct length for the top and bottom borders, you'll use your block and sashing sizes like method 1, or use a tape measure like method 2 to get your measurements. Making sure to include the newly added side borders and your 1/4 inch seam allowance at each end. Cut your top and bottom border strips to the proper width and measured length, piecing strips end to end if needed. Again, making sure to include your end seam allowances. Pin the top border strip to the quilt top, right sides together, just like you did with the sides. Sew it on with a 1/4 inch seam allowance and repeat for the bottom border. Ensure your seams are straight and consistent. After sewing, press the seams toward the border fabric. And there you have it! Your quilt top now has beautifully added borders, giving it a finished and balanced look. This extra step really makes a difference, doesn't it? In the next video, we'll dive into quilting the layers together. We'll talk about straight line stitching and the option of sending your quilt to a professional long arm quilter. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. Thanks for watching and happy quilting. See you in the next video.